Lisbon Letters. In the heart of Lisbon, beneath a blue sky and rolling hills that cradled the city's centuries-old buildings, lived Clara. She was a quiet young woman, working as an archivist in the National Library, surrounded by books and history every day. For her, Lisbon was a place of stories, untold and forgotten. Every cobbled street seemed to whisper its own tale, and every corner of the city seemed rich with unspoken secrets. Yet, for all its charm, Clara had a growing sense that something was missing in her life. One afternoon, while cataloging a box of old documents from the early 1900s, Clara came across a bundle of letters, tied together with a faded blue ribbon. The letters were written by someone named Antonio to a woman named Isabel. The penmanship was elegant, and the ink, though aged, still had the same fluid grace. Intrigued, Clara set the letters on her desk and began reading the first one. Asterisk, my dearest Isabel, Lisbon without you feels empty. The river is still, as if it, too, waits for your return. Each day I walk through our favorite park, hoping to hear your laughter again, to see the joy in your eyes. I have written to you every day, in the hope that one day you will reply. Asterisk. Clara was hooked. The romance in the letters was palpable, and she found herself eagerly reading one after another. Antonio's longing and love for Isabel were expressed in every word, and with each letter, Clara felt like she was delving deeper into a personal love story that had somehow never reached its conclusion. As she finished the final letter, a pang of sadness washed over her. There were no replies from Isabel. Had Antonio's letters been lost? Or had Isabel chosen not to answer? Clara found herself obsessed with finding out more about them. Were these people real, or were they fictional characters someone had created long ago? Clara spent the following weeks digging through archives, scouring the library for clues about Antonio and Isabel. She looked through old newspapers, city records, and diaries, but there was no trace of them. It seemed as if their love story was confined only to the letters Clara had found. But there was something that kept pulling her back to the idea that their story wasn't finished. One day, as she walked through Lisbon's Alfama district, Clara had an idea. What if she responded to Antonio's letters? Even if it was all fiction, she felt an overwhelming urge to answer the love that had been poured out in ink so many decades ago. That evening, in her cozy apartment overlooking the Tagus River, Clara took out her pen and began to write. Asterisk, my dear Antonio, I do not know if you are still waiting, but your letters have reached me. The Lisbon you described is still here, beautiful and full of life, just as you remembered. I walk the streets you once wandered, and though I do not know where you are now, your presence is felt in every corner of this city. Asterisk. Clara wrote late into the night, pouring her heart into the letter as though she was speaking directly to Antonio. When she finished, she sealed it in an envelope and placed it on her windowsill, as if waiting for the universe to decide its fate. Days passed, and Clara continued with her routine, but her thoughts constantly drifted back to Antonio and Isabel. Then, one morning, as she was walking to work, something strange happened. A young man, about her age, stood at the library entrance holding a letter. "Excuse me," he said, "but I found this letter outside my apartment, and it's addressed to someone named Clara. Is that you?" Clara's heart skipped a beat. She hadn't told anyone about the letter she had written. How could someone have a reply? "Yes, that's me," she said cautiously, taking the letter from him. The man smiled. "I'm Raphael, by the way. It's a pleasure to meet you, Clara." Curious and more than a little bewildered, Clara opened the letter as Raphael stood nearby. The handwriting was unfamiliar, yet elegant, much like Antonio's letters. Asterisk, "My dear Clara, I have waited a long time for a reply, and now it seems the universe has delivered it. I do not know where you are or how you found my words, but you have given me hope once again. For so long, I believed my letters had vanished into the wind, but now I see that love, even when unspoken, finds its way back to us." Asterisk. Clara stared at the words in disbelief. This couldn't be real. Could it? She looked up at Raphael, who seemed equally curious. "Did you write this?" Clara asked, her voice trembling slightly. Raphael shook his head. "No, but I found it. The strange thing is, I've been finding letters like this for weeks. I live in an old apartment building in Alfama, and these letters just appear. I couldn't figure out who they were meant for, until now." Clara felt a chill run down her spine. She had started responding to Antonio's letters, and now it seemed as though something was answering back. Raphael smiled gently. "It seems we're both part of this story now." Together, they decided to uncover the mystery behind the letters. Over the next few weeks, Clara and Raphael exchanged stories, walked the same streets that Antonio and Isabel might have once wandered, and shared their thoughts on love, fate, and destiny. The letters continued to arrive, each one more mysterious than the last. And through it all, Clara and Raphael grew closer. In the end, the true love story wasn't just about Antonio and Isabel, but about how their letters had brought Clara and Raphael together, weaving their own tale of romance in the heart of Lisbon. And as Clara sat by her window one evening, penning her final letter to Antonio, she realized that sometimes love finds us in the most unexpected ways.
Thank you for listening. Like, subscribe, and share our channel Magic Mingle with your friends to enjoy more magical stories.